I was picking up my teacher to bring her to my teacher school for us to do a class. So I picked her up, and then we spend the ride practicing English, practicing Chinese. Like that's what we do. And my teacher is, every time I tell the story, she's shorter, but she's this tall. She weighs 61 pounds. And I'm me, right? So it's probably a bit comical. And we're going to my teacher, who's like a massive evil Santa, practically a caricature of a caricature. And so we're almost at my teacher's school, like 2 blocks away, and we're at a pretty major intersection in town. It's still like a 2-lane street and a 1-lane street meeting, but it's a light and a business on each corner and crosswalks, and it's sort of downtown, so there's people and turning lane, all that kind of stuff. And I stop because we have a red light, and there's a Dunkin' Donuts like in the corner that's always kind of busy and people come in and out. And the guy hits me, right? He's pulling out, hits me. No big deal, right? Something's like jammed up, and nobody's going to be injured. We're going 3 miles an hour or less, but it's so pretty clearly his fault. He's not going to get away or anything. Like, it's all crowded, and I think to myself, oh, there'll be a police officer any minute. We're at Dunkin' Donuts. Like, we're not going to have to wait long, right? And then I look in my rearview mirror, and like 3 cars back is a cop who has his lights come on. Like, he's clearly perfect, right? So I'm at the light, so the way that it worked with the lights and where I got bumped and stuff, I figured, let me just go through the light. I think it's green by now, but let me just stop. That's the next safe place to stop, is actually finish the intersection. And then I don't know what he's gonna do, but he's gonna pull over wherever he does. So I do that. So he pulls over, sort of at the light. I pull over, whatever it is, 46 feet away, the other side. And then you could see the cop kind of trying to get people to pull over and then pull through. And so he'll be here in a minute and a half or something. And the guy gets out, and he's like jacked. Like he's left the gym on his way to his other gym. You know what I mean? And he's just like rippling, and like 0% body fat, 100% anger, yelling about all the things I did wrong and how I'm gonna pay for this or whatever And I'm like, there must have been 30 witnesses. It's 100%. I was just sitting at a stoplight. You hit, like, of course I didn't do anything wrong, but you have it in your mind. I didn't move fast enough. I was in your way. I don't know, whatever it is. And he's kind of gesticulating, and he's angry. And I look over at my teacher, like, so sorry, hopefully this won't take long. Obviously you're not hurt. You don't appear to be. I'm fine, And she goes, oh, I'm so happy. You give me first English lesson. You give me first American Kung Fu. You give me first hamburger or whatever, like things I introduced. And she's like, and now you give me first accident or however she said it, car crash. It's like, I can't wait to tell my family Mr. Steve gave me car crash. And I was like, you don't have to tell them that but she's excited. She's like, another first, thank you, Steve, you bring maybe to leave this part out, like so she's kind of excited, which is good. Like, she's not upset or hurt, obviously. So I said, well, best if we just get out, stand on the sidewalk. The cop, we have to do the paperwork and stuff. And then the guy's like approaching, not running, but he's working himself up, right? But I see that behind him is a cop who's on foot now, walking up. So anger coming at me, my martial arts teacher right next to me, and then there's a cop behind him, and I was like, this guy has no idea how he's the worst part of the sandwich. Like, no idea. But he's self-confident and pissed off. Like, he's gonna put me in my plate or whatever. And I got out, and I'm not a small guy, but he's definitely had confidence, and it didn't matter my size. So I'm standing next to my teacher, who is, as I said, 19 inches tall and 12 pounds. And I think like in silk or something, ready for class. And he's approaching, and he gets to, 25 feet, 26 feet away. He's lathering himself up. He's getting more angry. A few curse words, but I don't think it was really like, slurs or anything, but just kind of cursing and gesticulating, trying to get me to whatever, back down or something, I don't know. And I wasn't puffed up or anything, it's just, whatever. So as he starts to get into that zone where this is getting too close, I'm standing next to my teacher who, as I said, is about 6 inches tall and 6 pounds. And as he starts to get there, what I do is the only sensible thing is like, I better make sure I'm safe. And I step back so that she's in between us. And he registers so quickly, like, is that really big, strong guy stepping behind that tiny Asian woman in silk? And then he completes the next 15 feet and he rapidly slopes down into, I'm so sorry, I didn't realize. And then the cop says, so is everybody okay or whatever? And then, so literally my self-defense move was this. And then I just watched him his whole he's doing this quick calculation of, and then he was just, I'm so sorry, I hope everybody's okay, da da da. Anyway, we do the paperwork, da da, there's just the end of the story. And my kind of, I don't know what it's called, quarter panel or whatever, is kind of folded in a way that if my wheel turns, it's probably gonna get cut or maybe brush. So I can drive the way, like I pulled more or less straight, but a turn would threaten the wheel. So the cop is like, I know you're just going there and it's nothing super bad, but we'll have to tow it. Like, that can't drive. So what I did is I turned this into making the super jacked guy literally bend my car into where the cop was like, I mean, I guess you could drive. You're fine. That's not a problem for me now. So I literally had the guy who's just, and like pulling this metal thing back.
Oh, he didn't take the crowbar out of his pocket?
He literally just like with his, like in a cartoon, and it wasn't plastic. It was like whatever the metal framing part or something. It wasn't like the frame of the car, but whatever armature and he just bent it enough that the cop was like, I think I'm gonna love this story. I guess you can go. And my teacher was just loved it. So, anyway, that's that story.